Hi friends, uh, good day. Think we had a long layoff. I hope you all are doing well. So, in today's class, I'll be starting financial statements of company. So, in financial statements of companies, before I go into the chapter called as, here I'm writing today's class. I'm starting financial statements of companies. I'm starting a new chapter, my dear friends, financial statements of company. So I've decided, I thought of sharing with you the corporate accounting part first. In corporate accounting part, like you are having financial statements of company, including cash flow statement, or cash flow statement is a separate chapter. Financial statement of companies including cash flow statement, actually, but we will be calling a separate chapter. So if you look at the corporate accounting part, whatever the topics I am having, just I am giving a brief idea so that the topics which I wish to take up in the schedule. So corporate accounting part, what actually you are having financial statements of company, and then you are also having, see, financial statement of companies includes nothing but statement of P&L account and balance sheet. Simple words, final accounts of company. Okay, final accounts of company. And then we will be having a small topic called as redemption of preference shares, bonus shares, right shares, final accounts of company, redemption of preference shares, bonus shares, right shares, redemption of debentures, pre and profit or loss on pre and post incorporation. I think this is entire thing is being covered in like corporate accounting. This is what you should have clarity. Final accounts of companies, redemption of preference shares, bonus shares, right shares, redemption of debentures, profit or loss on pre and post incorporation. So why I am starting with this final accounts of company? Because you haven't learned CA foundation. Maybe few problems I have taken up the balance sheet, but we had a general discussion about, I think if I am not wrong, we had a general discussion of preparation of the format of statement of profit and loss, and then we had, I think we had a brief discussion on balance sheet. I think one problem or two problems we have worked on in CA foundation, how to prepare balance sheet extract. I think that is what we have learned there. So that is, I think, regarding purchase of shares for consideration other than cash. I think one or two problems we have seen that. So final accounts of company, why my intention is to start with final accounts of company is that because the format is useful for preference shares, bonus shares, right shares, redemption of debentures, and profit or loss on pre and post incorporation. Also you need to have a format of balance sheet. Actually each chapter is different, even the each topic is different, is having its individuality, but you need to have a overall picture of final accounts of company. I think this is for information. So this is what my corporate accounting of CA Inter Group 1. These are things which I need to cover. It is coming to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chapters. Is this clear? 6 subtopics. So what I do, I think we had a long life. You learned in CA Foundation the corporate accounting, company accounts, basics, elementary of company accounts. I think that elementary of company accounts is important for you to understand the entries part. So entries part are entries of whatever you learn for issue of shares or issue of debentures. They all are very important. The recapitulation of those things, elementary of company accounts, that is issue of shares, issue of debentures. I think those two things will be really useful for you. Those revision will be useful for final accounts of company, redemption of preference shares, bonus shares, right shares, redemption of debentures. I think for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chapters, that basic is very, very important. So what I am trying to explain today's class is that to feel you comfortable, even though you all are aware, I know that your standard of learning and your absorption skills, but still let me again revise the introduction to company accounts. I am not talking about the theoretical part of it, the types of company, etc., which is you learned already, is also there in the law, I think. So what I am doing is now today I'll be starting the today's session. The learning objective of today's session is the recapitulation of issue of shares. Is this clear? It is recapitulation of issue of shares. So first let me start with issue of shares. A company can go for issue of two types of shares, the class of shares we talk about. A company can issue equity shares, you know that. Similarly, a company also can issue preference shares. A company can issue equity shares, a company can issue preference shares. So why a company has to go for issue of shares? It is a source for the company, like you need to raise the capital for any business, be it sole proprietor, be it partnership, be it a company, joint stock company. You need capital to commence the business. In case of sole proprietor, only one person is contributing. That is why it is being called a sole proprietor. In case of partnership, two or more persons are contributing the capital that is being required by the business, that is to start a business. In case of company, you need huge investment. So that huge investment you need to raise. I am talking about public limited company. If it is a private limited company, through known people you will be raising the source, you will be raising the capital that is needed. But when in case of public limited company, you need huge investment. I think generally they will be going for public issue. Through public issue, they will be able to raise the capital that is needed for establishment of a company. Okay, so in that regard, you know that a company can issue equity shares, a company can issue preference shares. So in that particular thing, I will be discussing with you the concept of issue of shares. And before I explain that, I think you also might have learned that the classification of the share capital, like you know that authorized capital, you recollect yourself. Authorized capital is the capital maximum amount that company can raise from the public is called as authorized capital. Part of authorized capital is called as issued capital. You know that. And that issued capital, if the to people when you have issued, to the public when you have issued, if they subscribe, it is called as subscribed capital. So you have already learned authorized capital, issued capital, subscribed capital. And then that subscribed capital, after subscribing for the shares, the public, the company will be allotting the shares. The shares, when company is allotting the shares, that after allotment of shares, the company is going to collect the money from the public. Once the public have applied for the shares, when the shares have been allotted, when they make payment, then they will be called as a members of the company or shareholders of the company. So that money that money that has to be collected after allotment of shares can be lump sum or can be in installment. Generally, our problems will be based on installment, as you have seen in case of CA Foundation. Or suppose the face value of share is 100 rupees. Suppose face value or nominal value of share is 100 rupees. This 100 rupees you can collect in lump sum, that is only at the allotment money, okay, or at the time of application you can collect 100 rupees and shares have been allotted, that's fine, 100 rupees is the amount that is being collected. Or in installments, say 20 rupees application, 30 rupees allotment, 20 rupees first call, 30 rupees like say final call. So this 100 rupees can be collected, as I told you, nominal value, the face value of the share. Nominal value is also called as face value. So a company can collect 100 rupees lump sum, or they can collect in installments, say 20 rupees application, 30 allotment, 20 rupees first call, 30 rupees final call. Think this is what is called as number of shares allotted. Allotted. After allotment, it is being called as called up capital. That means at the time of allotment, after making the allotment, they will be calling the money for the shareholders, for the public to make the payment. So then they will be making the payment like allotment money, first call money, final call money. Now company can call the money when they need. Generally, application money, the person is applying for the share, he has to pay application money. After allotment of share, that particular person has to pay allotment, then he will become shareholder. After he becomes shareholder, and the company can call first call after 1 month or after 2 months of the allotment that is being made, or final call immediately or as and when required, then that is what is being called as called up capital. Suppose the entire 100 rupees has been called up, so 10,000 rupees, the 10,000 shares has been allotted, 100 rupees, 10,000 shares into 100 is called up. Then paid up. Called up capital minus calls in arrears, if any, that is unpaid amount. A shareholder has not paid 20 rupees first call. One shareholder has paid first call but he has failed to pay final call. And this is being called as unpaid call or calls in arrears. That calls in arrears, if you deduct from called up capital, you will be getting paid up capital. If there is no calls in arrears, then called up capital and paid up capital will be same. I think this minimum knowledge you need to have in CA. This minimum knowledge you need to carry on for CA intercompany accounts. I think these are all the things you have learned in CA Foundation in detailed way. So today's class, what I am doing, my dear friends, is that today's lecture, my emphasis, as I told you, is revising the main things that is needed for you to do corporate accounting well. It can be it a final accounts or be it a redemption of preference shares or any other topic. So a company can issue equity shares or preference shares. I am not going into the class of shares. Simply I will be calling be it a equity shares or be it a preference shares. the accounting treatment will be the same. Only if it is a preference shares, you will be prefixing the preference. If it is equity shares, you will be preferring the equity, prefixing equity. That you will be seeing that in the journal entries part of it. So the issue of shares, the entire basic of this today's my lecture is issue of shares can be at par, at premium. Issue of shares can be at par or at premium. Is this clear? Issue of shares can be at par, at premium. A company can issue shares at par means face value. Say 100 rupees is the face value of the share, is called as par. If 100 rupees share is being issued at a premium of 10%, then it becomes 110. So 100 rupees share has become 110. It is called as issue of shares at premium. You know that. Note, a company cannot issue shares at discount. A company cannot issue shares at discount. A company cannot issue shares at discount, but they can issue sweat shares. At discount. You know that a company cannot issue shares at discount, but they can issue sweat equity shares at discount. The sweat equity shares, that is, those shares have been issued to employees or the promoters, whoever it may be, the directors. The company can issue shares, sweat equity shares at discount. Now, if you look at the entries part, you know that entry. What is entry for issue of shares? For issue of shares at par, for issue of shares at par, you write the entry. Say bank account at R, to share application. Say for example 10,000 shares into 20 rupees. Is this clear? I am taking an example of the 10,000 shares have been 10,000 shares has been issued. Public have applied for 10,000 shares. What is application money? 20 rupees. So you are getting 2 lakhs. You know that this entry for issue of shares at par, first entry is bank account at R to share application. This is application money received. You know that. And then this application money will be transferred to share capital only after allotment. Share application account at R2 share capital. This, please remember, application money transferred to share capital after allotment. Is this clear? Say the same amount, 2 lakh rupees. And third entry which you write, share allotment account at R. You know that you should write the entry for due, because once the shares have been allotted, you will be knowing what is the amount that is due. So at the time of Getting the application money, you are not sure how much application money you will be receiving. But once the allotment has been made, that you know on these number of shares I need to get the allotment. So I told you here example 10,000 shares has been applied. Let us say that the company has issued 10,000, public have applied for 10,000. So all the 10,000 shares has been allotted. I am taking assumption. Share allotment account that are to share capital, say 30 rupees, 10,000 into 30 coming to 3 lakhs. Okay, so here you write being the entry for allotment money due. Then fourth entry you write that is allotment money received, bank account that are to share allotment. Bank account that are to share allotment account 3 lakhs. Bank account that are share allotment you write being allotment money received. Being allotment money received. Then let us say the balance is 50 rupees is first and final call. Then you write entry again, share first and final call. I am assuming face value of share is 100 rupees. Share first and final call account that are to share capital account, say 50 rupees. Here I have taken example being the entry for allotment money due 10,000 into 30. Here I am taking example that 50 rupees is the money. 10,000 into final call, first and final call is 50. It is coming to how much? 5 lakhs. Okay. You write being first and final call money due. Then sixth one, bank account that are to share first and final call. It is coming to 5 lakh rupees. Being first and final call money received. I think, sir, why you are revising all those things? We have already learned CA foundation. Yeah, you are right. But I think, I don't know, because it's like, a real classroom discussion. I think by looking at your body language, I can guess something. But I think these entries will follow you. The entries which you learn in foundation will follow you in redemption of preference shares, as I told you, even in case of bonus shares. Bonus shares, of course, bonus shares is the issue of free shares, maybe right shares. I think this is important, and company final account to some extent. I think in one or two problems you need a bit of knowledge of this. It's very simple, but I think you got a long laugh. I'm going to feel comfortable. First time, it's like. For you people, I think for other outgoing batch, we had video lectures. I think the first video lecture to you. So I thought of going a bit slow so that one or two classes you should feel comfortable, right? So coming back to this, my dear friends, this I have told you issue of shares at par. Now issue of shares at premium, when a company issues shares at premium, I think I am writing the entries. Issue of shares at premium, what is premium? Which is more than face value. When company issues shares at premium, that premium money, that is extra 10 rupees, they can either collect at application, they can collect with allotment, or they can collect at any call money. But generally that amount will be collected either at application or allotment. So share premium is a gain. What gain, sir? It's a capital gain, or it's called as a capital reserve. We had discussion on that, but when we go to redemption of preference shares, we discuss that later on. Share premium is a capital reserve, but we are not showing the share premium under capital reserve heading. We are not considering share premium under the heading capital reserve. It is having its own identity, right? That is security premium. Why the security premium is having identity? Because section 52 has laid down the principles that this capital profit can be used for writing off certain losses. That is the reason why, that is, Companies Act has given some provision on that. So we'll be using security premium. Otherwise the security premium will be considered as a capital reserve, but we are not adding to capital reserve. This is, just keep it in mind. The reason is simple. We are having section 52 has given provisions for applying the security premium for writing off certain losses. Okay. So issue of shares at premium, here I am writing when premium money is included in application. When premium money is included in application, you know the entry. Share application account debtor to share capital to security premium. Share application account debtor to share capital account to security premium. Please remember, always the share capital is at which value, sir? Face value of application. The premium is excess amount, right? Premium is excess amount. Excess of face value is called as premium, right? Then B, when premium money is included in allotment. And premium money is included in allotment. So this you will be writing when you write the entry for allotment money due. So you write the entry share allotment account debtor to share capital face value of allotment money to security premium. Again I told you, excess of face value. Suppose 10 rupees is premium, you write 10 rupees here. Is this clear? This is the entry, that entire amount will be expected the shareholder to pay along with the allotment money, right? So when premium money is included application, share application to share capital to security premium. When premium money is included allotment, share allotment to share capital to security premium, right? I think we have discussed these two things. Now, after issue of shares at par, at premium, then we will be discussing about, I think I now tell you about calls in arrears account, calls in advance account, which is not so important. I think that we can manage when problem comes. Now, but I think we are having few problems, final accounts in the study material about forfeiture of shares. Forfeiture of shares. You know what is forfeiture of shares? Cancellation. Cancellation. When shares are forfeited is nothing but when a shareholder has failed to pay the amount which is supposed to pay to the company, be it allotment money, be it call money, after giving proper notice, his shares can be forfeited by the company. This is nothing but cancellation of the shares. Okay. If the shareholder himself comes under voluntarily surrendering, it also can be forfeiture. Here the company is forcing the shareholder to surrender. Voluntary surrender is that the shareholder himself is coming and surrendering the shares, that I am not in a position to make this payment, please kindly cancel the shares. But here forfeiture shares is the step taken by the company. These forfeiture shares means cancellation of shares by the company which were originally issued at par, which were originally issued at premium. Forfeiture of shares which were originally issued at par, which were originally issued at premium. What is the entry? Entry for forfeiture of shares originally issued at par. Entry for forfeiture of shares originally here. Originally issued at par. So cancellation. Cancellation means share capital account to be cancelled means it should be debited. Share capital account debtor. You should pay attention to today's lecture because I am not going to repeat these basic things whenever we come across at next in future chapters of corporate accounting CA Inter. Just you should remember this. Share capital account debtor. Number of shares forfeited into called up. That means a company can forfeit the shares after allotment money. A company can forfeit shares after first call. A company can forfeit the shares after final call. Or on some shares, a company may forfeit after allotment, while some other shares a company may forfeit after first call. On some other shares, the company may forfeit final call. Any of the alternative may happen. Anything depending upon the situation, circumstance. So number of shares forfeited into called up value. Called up value means if suppose after forfeiture of allotment, say in the previous example I taken 20 rupees application, 30 rupees allotment. What is called up amount? 50. If it is after call, so example I have given 20, 30 and 50, 100 rupees. Called up value. Number of shares forfeited into called up. 2. Share capital account debtor 2. Forfeited shares account or shares forfeited account. Amount collected on. Amount collected on shares forfeited. 2. Calls in arrears. To calls in arrears. Unpaid. You need to create calls in arrears when you open calls in arrears at the time of amount is due from the shareholder. Okay, maybe allotment money has not paid, or first call money has not paid, final call money has not paid. I think these are the entries. This is the entry we write. Not this is the entry when we write when forfeited shares issued at par. Now, entry for forfeiture of shares issued at premium. Now, question is, we are having two situations here. Premium money not received by the company. Entry for forfeiture of shares issued at premium, but premium money is not received by the company. So when premium money is not received by the company, along with share capital, you also should cancel which one? Security premium. Then the entry will be share capital account at R, same number of shares forfeited, number of shares forfeited into called up value per share then security premium account at R. Number of shares forfeited into premium per share. Security premium account data, number of shares forfeited into premium per share to forfeited shares account to calls in arrears account. This account I am writing assuming calls in arrears account was open. You know forfeited shares, amount received, this is unpaid amount. Then I told you B, when premium money collected on forfeited shares, the entry forfeiture of share entry will be like par. What is the entry you write? Share capital account at R. Because when amount is collected, why should you cancel? When amount is not collected, you are cancelling the share. When premium money collected on forfeited shares, no need to cancel security premium. So the entry will be share capital account at R to forfeited shares account to calls in arrears. So this is as good as the entry of shares which were issued at forfeiture of shares issued at par. Is this clear? I think these are the basic things you should remember. Then next one is reissue of forfeited shares. Reissue of forfeited shares. Now these reissue shares can be, forfeited shares can be at par, at premium, at discount. This is possible. The reissue of shares can be at par, at premium, at discount. I think at par, you all are aware. A shares can be issued at par, entry, bank account at R to share capital. A reissue is generally in a bidding, company will go for a bidding, and whoever is going to go for highest quotation, and then for them the shares will be offered. So reissue means the cancelled shares are reissued again. The reissue can be say 100 rupees share reissued at 100 rupees shares can be reissued at 110, 100 rupees shares can be reissued at discount. Reissue of forfeited shares can be a discount, but the company cannot issue shares at discount, but reissue can be a discount because the company is already having some money, and you should understand the amount that is being collected by the company forfeited shares is a gain to the company, because whatever the amount that is being collected by the company on the forfeited shares will not be given back to the shareholder. So the amount will be left with the company. So that is a gain to the company. Okay, forfeited share, the amount that is being received by the company is a gain to the company because the company is not going to refund that money. So that is why there is a possibility of going for reissue of forfeited shares at discount. Okay, these things you have learned. Okay, at par, at premium. The entry will be same like what we have learned today beginning. Bank account at R, to share capital, so I have taken example say 100. Here bank account at R 110, to share capital 100, to security premium. $10. And reissue of shares at discount. Bank account at R, here we can't write discount, and this whatever the discount you are giving, because you are reissuing at 90, there is a 10 rupees loss. This 10 rupees loss will be covered from which account? Forfeited shares account. Already the company has collected some amount on forfeited shares, so the loss on reissue can be adjusted from gain on forfeited shares. That means you can issue shares at discount only to the extent of the amount that has been collected on forfeited shares. For example, company has forfeited shares on when the shareholder has failed to pay 50 rupees first and final call money. So the company wants to collect how much? 50 rupees on reissue. So now they have given discount of 10 rupees. That means how much they are collecting? 90 rupees they are collecting. Already company is having how much? 50. Company has already collected on forfeited shares 50. 90 plus 50, 140. The company is having 140 rupees on 100 rupees. Is it not a gain? Is this clear? So that gain will be transferred to which account? Capital reserve. So now when you write the entry for issue of shares at discount, reissue of shares at discount, bank account at R, forfeited shares account at R, to share capital. ₹100. 100 rupees. Is this clear? That means this loss on the discount on reissue will be adjusted from the gain on forfeiture. Then entry for transfer of balance in forfeited shares account. I have told you example. Amount received on, example I have taken. Amount received on forfeited per share 50 rupees, say. discount on reissue. Here I go and say 10 rupees. What is the gain? This is profit on reissue. Or we can say gain on reissue. This is transferred to which account? Capital reserve. Then the entry will be, you write forfeited shares account that are to capital reserve account. Where it will be transferred? Forfeited shares account that are to capital reserve you are transferring. Okay. So we are assuming that all the forfeited shares has been reissued. If all the forfeited shares has not been reissued, then forfeited shares account will have some balance. I think this basic knowledge will definitely be useful when we go for financial statements of company. So today's class, I have taken opportunity of revising the basics which you have learned. We are not working out any problems on this. I think the entries will give you a clarity again. You will be in. I think it will be useful for you to follow the lecture on financial statements of company. So in tomorrow's class, I'll be discussing about financial statement of company. Financial statement of company means what, and what are the things that is to be included in financial statements of company. That we talk about final accounts, which is being called as like final accounts. So what are the items that includes in final accounts, or we call them as a financial statement of companies. So I think these things we discuss tomorrow, and maybe tomorrow's class we'll be focusing on the final accounts part, and how to go for final accounts, what is schedule 3, and what are the things we should learn before we go to. And for the first time, I think most of you are learning the format also of financial statements of company, that is final accounts of the company. And before you go and learn the final accounts format, and there are some two small topics, subtopics you should also learn, that is also important from examination point of view: managerial remuneration and declaration of dividend, dividend distribution rules. These two subtopics, and that I will be covering in the coming classes initially by discussing financial statements of company includes what. Briefly, we'll be having discussion tomorrow's class. Then we'll be focusing on managerial remuneration. Then two classes I think I need. For one is for discussing on managerial remuneration, and it's a new thing, how to calculate remuneration to the manager. And then the next one is declaration of dividend, and then we will be going for financial statements of company format. Two classes it will take. So two classes for this remuneration and dividend, and two classes for the format. Then we start working out final account problems. Okay, I hope you are able to understand what I have explained today. So we continue our discussion in the next class. Right, thank you very much.